Hello and welcome all the lovely kids of Coloria on the YouTube channel of Srimati R.S. Coloria English Medium. Today in science subject of 8th standard NCERT we are going to study the next chapter. Its name is chapter number 15, Some Natural Phenomena. Yes, the natural word when comes in your mind, you just have some of the words that comes in your mind, that the flow of the wind, the storms that comes, some of the other things that is coming in the natural way. All these natural things when occur, what are their results and how does they occur? So let's have some quick view on them. In standard 7th, you have already studied about the storms and the winds, all these things which are destructive to the nature and destructive to us also. But when they are flowing, they are naturally flowing, so we cannot stop them anyhow. But today we are going to study something more, that is lightning and the earthquake. So it's an interesting topic, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. So what do you think about the lightning? Yes, first thing that comes in our mind about the lightning is the loosened circuits, isn't it? When the loosened circuits you see, what do you see? Because of the flow of the wind, they will be striking again to the wires and then again some sparks will be generated over there. So that will be causing the spark, that is again a lightning, isn't it? The some of the other things that comes in our mind, okay, which are that? Yes, there are some of the things that is known as the plugs and the electric poles. You must have seen that in the electric plugs also some of the loosened sparks will be there. So because of these wires, when this spark goes on, it shows us the lightning. And even in the electric poles also we have seen so many of the times that the wires will be just by just having the wind flow of there, the sparks will be generated there. So that will be again causing the lightning. So what do you think is the lightning? So lightning is the electric spark on a huge scale. Yes, the lightning which is caused by the God, or we can say which is caused naturally, will be again a part of the electric spark only which we see nearby us. But it is on the huge scale, thus we tell it as a lightning. Now let's go further. We can have that the sparks the Greek knew about. Now what are these sparks actually? We can say that in ancient time people does not have the awareness about the lightning actually. So what they thought about? They just thought that it is the wrath of the God that is falling on them. Maybe the people would have done some sin and that's why the God is now not good with the people and thus he is causing some curse on him. So this was the some of the aspects that the ancient people had in their mind. But we now know that it is not at all true, because scientifically there are so many of the proven that we can have. So for that we know that the Greeks who were more educated or learned at that time, they have find out that the sparks which are caused by these things are similar to the lightning, but it was found at a long time duration, because until that everybody was not educated and they were even not aware that what these actually things are. Now let's go with the another thing, how they have found it out. Before early as 600 BC, they found that the amber, which is similar to the resin which we eat in the dry fruits, the amber when rubbed with the fur, that is the woolen clothes or the fur portions, they will be attracting the hair. Now why does it happen? There is something which is causing the attraction of the hair when they are rubbed with each other, isn't it? So when the amber is rubbed with the fur, it causes some charge in it and thus the other substance was being attracted which was lighter than the substance which we have rubbed here. So it was something to be thought about and thus they have started thinking on it, and by this they have find out that it is the spark which is being conducted over here because of the charges being formed over here. Now in the second portion which we routinely have that, what you know, in the winter season especially when the woolen clothes or the polyester clothes are just being taken out by you people, what do you see? Yes, don't you see that when you take out your sweaters or when you take out your blankets from your head, what do you see? The hair will be standing at its end, isn't it? So what do you see at that time? Again some charges are being flowing over there and these substances are being charged, thus they are just having the attraction towards the woolen and the furry things. Okay, let's have the another thing also. If the same thing you will be visiting in the dark room, or when the light is not there in the room, what will be happening? In the dark, when you will see, you will find some sparkling and some crackling sound also. The spark is visible in the dark rooms when you are taking out the woolen clothes, and some sort of the crackling sound will also be there, which you don't like to have that, isn't it? You will feel that some electric current or shock has been passed through you, but that is just a spark. But in a huge amount, when you will think on it, it is the lightning that is caused by the God in the sky. So let's go further. Here we have an American scientist named as Benjamin Franklin in the 1752. What he find out is, he just found that the spark and the lightning are same, and that was being find out before 2000 years. So you can think about that how long it took to find out just a small thing, that the spark which is caused over here with us is similar to the huge lightning which is caused in the clouds or in the sky, isn't it? Let's go further with conducting some of the activities after it. Now let us have activity 15.2. Now in this activity we have some of the substance given to us, and we have to identify whether they will be producing some charges in it, attracting or by repulsion. Let's see it. So you can see over here in the picture that we have the objects given as the refill, which is rubbed with the material called the polythene or the woolen cloth, as you can see over here. Now what it will do, will it be attracting or will it be repelling the other things? So here we can say that by the experiment that we have seen, we can say it will be attracting, and so it is the charged object. Now the second thing that is given to us is the balloon with the polythene or the woolen cloth. We can have what? So in the next activity you will find it and you will see it also, but before that I will be revealing the answer. It will say that it attracts a substance, and so it is a charged object. The next one we have is the eraser. Yes, the rubber that is used. So eraser when rubbed with the woolen cloth, what will happen? Will it be attracting or repelling? Yes, of course it will be attracting. And what? The paper pieces, isn't it? And so it will be known as the charged object. The next one is to be done by you people at your home as a homework. What it is? It is the steel spoon, and you have to rub it with the plastic polythene, and then you will be telling me that whether it is attracting or not. Okay. So next one you can have here is, we can add over here as already done, that is comb. When rubbed with the dry hair, what will happen? Of course it is going to attract, because you have seen when you are rubbing your hair with the comb at the dry hairs, what will happen? The hairs will also go along with the comb, isn't it? So it is a charged object. The next thing that you can have is the furry sweater. Any of the furry sweater that you wear with your body, when it is rubbed or when you are taking it out, it is already rubbing the body. So what will happen? Is it a charged one or not charged? Of course yes, because you feel the sparking also, and the crackling sound also comes out of that, isn't it? So it is a attractive portion, and it is going to have the charge also. Let us see this activity where we have to rub the balloon. We have just first of all inflaten the balloons, and we have just hang one of the balloon with the thread. Now the second balloon we are going to have it with the woolen cloth to be rubbed, or with the fur. So now I am holding with the cloth because it will not be having the discharge because of my body. Now this is the fur portion where we are going to rub it. After rubbing it, let me bring close to the another balloon, but not by touching the balloon. So let us see what will be happening. We can see that the other balloon is just repelling. It is just going away from the balloon. So why does it go away from here? Because we know that the first balloon is being charged with the help of this fur body. Okay, and that's why we can say that it possesses some of the charge, which will make the other balloon to be going afar from each other. Let's continually start with the next portion of the same activity. So, as we have seen first in the activity that the balloons were repelling each other. Now, in the second portion, we have to take the refill. As you can see in the picture, what we find in a glass tumbler, we have just fitted with the refill. Now, we have to place that refill as it is and take the another refill also, and just rub it to the fur portion. sorry, we have to just rub this with the plastic polythene bag. So when we are rubbing this refill with the plastic bag, we can have again the charge coming to this refill portion, and as we will bring it close to the refill which is placed in the glass tumbler, you can see here it will be again repelling each other. So this proves that we have been having another charges again over there in the refill also. Now we have to find the things which are present in this charged body are which type of the substance. So for that we can have now the separate things to be coming closer to each other. So for that we can have this another picture where you can find that we have placed a refill in the glass itself and we have just taken close to it the balloon. Now here the balloon is again charged one. So what we have to do in this activity? We have to brought close together the charged object that were made of the same material, but now we will be changing the material. So objects made of the different materials are brought close to each other. So for that we have the refill and place it gently in the glass tumbler, and before this, and then bring a inflated charged balloon near the refill and observe it. So we have just placed the refill over there, which is again charged one, and we have taken the balloon again which is again the charged one. But what the thing is, the different things are that the refill is being charged with the help of the plastic polythene bag, and the balloon, as we have done earlier, is rubbed with the fur object, and thus it is having brought to the close to the refill. So what will be the condition? As we can say now that both of these things will be doing some other thing, that is what? They will be attracting each other. As we have seen in the first activity, the balloons were repelling each other, and in the second activity also where the refills were there, both the refills were repelling each other. Whereas in this third activity, what we can see, that the balloon and refill will be attracting each other. What is the conclusion by this? Yes, you are correct in that the things which are present in these two substances are different one. So we can say that the opposite charges are present in these two substances, that is in refill also and in the balloon also. They are the opposite charges, that's why they are attracting each other. So as we have studied that unlike charges always attract each other, so by this reason they are just attracting each other. So we now summarize the observations as a charged balloon repelled the charged balloon. In the first activity we have seen that the charged refill will also repel the charged refill because again they are possessing the same charge in their body. Next one, but the charged balloon attracted the charged refill because they were having the opposite charges. Understand? So by this we can say that the charges of the same kind repel each other and the charges of the different kinds attract each other. It is now it is a convention to call the charge acquired by the glass rod when it is rubbed with the silk as a positive charge. So we can say that after so many of the experiments also, when the silk body was taken, means a piece of the silk was taken and the glass rod was being rubbed with it, we found that it was a positive charge which was coming to the glass rod. Now when the plastic straw will be rubbed with the polythene bag, it will be conducting the negative charge, and so we can have that both the bodies, the charged bodies which are brought to close to each other will be having the attraction because they were having the unlike charges to close to each other. So we can say that the electrical charges generated by rubbing are static. Okay, what does they mean? They do not move from each other, but they will be just being acquired by the body from which they are being rubbed. So they will be just taking the charge from their body by which they will be rubbed. The current in the circuit which makes the bulb glow or the current that makes the wire hot is nothing but the motion of the charges, which we have also seen here. When we are rubbing the balloon with the fur body, it is just taking the charge from it and the charges will be moving in the balloon until and unless we will touch the balloon, because we know that we can acquire the charges from the other bodies also as we are the good conductor. Okay, so now let us see that what are the transfer of the charges. For that we can have the another instrument which we can prepare by ourselves also. So let us have a look at that instrument that is known as the electroscope. So let's have a look. So let us see the next activity, that is transfer of the charge. By this we will be seeing that what will be happening in this activity. We are just rubbing the refill, or we can say the pen, with the polythene bag, and that will be brought close to the top of the spin. I will be explaining you what actually it is, but before that let's have a look at this. Now you must have seen that the foil inside this glass has just repelled each other for a few seconds. So that is what we have to observe carefully. See how does the activity goes on with this aluminum foil? Now actually what is happening, as we know that the polythene bag is having some of the charge, and the refill, when I am rubbing it with this refill, it will be having one of the charge in the refill, but we can say that only one charge is going in this refill. So what will be happening now? When this refill is going to attach to this metal clip, it will be passing the charge to the aluminum foil. Okay, so aluminum foils are close to each other, and only one type of the charge is being passed from this refill to the aluminum foil. So as we know that the same charges will be repelling each other. So for that reason they have just repelled each other. But now as we know that we are good conductors, so when I will be holding it, there will be discharge of the charge which has been already passed to the foils. So now again if we will be putting any of the charged object over here, again it will be acting and will be having the charge inside it. But when we have touched it, we will be just taking this charge from the foil also and from the pin also. See? So these are the activity which will be helping us to say that there is the change in the transfer of the charge. Let us see the construction of this electroscope. This is the instrument which we will be using for finding out that the charges are there in the body or not, means the object is charged or not. So for that what we have taken is, we have taken a simple glass jar as you can see, and we have just prepared this with the help of a U-pin, that is the paper pin. Now what is this paper pin? Actually the paper pins, this paper pin is nothing else than the U-pin which we used to have it in the papers to plug it. Now what we have done is, we have just unfolded this paper pin in this way, and we have just holded this to the bottom part, and we have just taken and shaped it in this way, okay, and just hold it to the cardboard portion. Now cardboard, why we have applied over here? Because cardboard will not be taking any of the charge in between them, because it is again a poor conductor, so it will not be carrying any of the charge in it. So we can have the cardboard for it. Metals, if we will be utilizing, it will be taking the charge which we are going to transfer to it, okay. So by this, just folding this pin over here on the top, and again we have prepared the same pin which we have utilized over here. Now which things we have installed over here is the aluminium foil. This aluminium foil we have constructed in such a way that it is 4 cm length and 1 cm of the broad. So L and B is 4 by 1. So we have just constructed 2 of the strips over here and added to this point. See, this is the pin where we have just holded this and we have just placed them over here. So by this we have just constructed the electroscope. So here we have some of the words which says that how the charges are being discharged. So let's have a look at that. We have seen already the electroscope. Electroscope is an instrument which is used to find out that the substance or the object is charged or not charged. But now we can say that the earthing is the other method which is also possessing the same thing. Means what? When we are touching the top pin of the electroscope, we can say that the aluminum foils will not be possessing any of the charge, because we are taking its charge and thus they will be discharged from any of the positive or negative charge in it. Now the same thing is happening with the earthing. Now what is this earthing? Now in this earthing we can say that from the sky or from the clouds, when we are having the spark which is coming towards these line, that is the metal lines, what will be happening to it? It will be just taking the charge from it and will be disposing the charge to the earth, that is the crust of the earth. Now what will be the condition over there? The process of the transferring of the charge from the charged object to the earth is called the earthing. Okay. So this will be happening when the natural lightning is conducted and it will be passed to the tall buildings over there. So here we have next that earthing is provided in the buildings to protect us from the electronic shocks due to the leakage of the electrical current. So when they are passed to the rods which are made up of the metals, they will be just passing that charges or the current to the ground or the earth, you can say, and that's why we will be just being relieved from these electric shocks. Now we have the story of the lightning. As you can see over here in the picture also, it is visible to you people that how the construction of the cloud and the earth surface will be produced. Now we can say here that the charges by rubbing, when they are formed by rubbing of the bodies, they will be producing the charges. We have seen also and we know now. Okay, so we can say that the development of the thunderstorms, the air currents will be moving upward. Now during the thunderstorms, means whenever the rainy seasons are there, almost at that time only the lightning will be occurring. And what is the reason for that? We can say that because of the thunderstorms, when the air is moving, the air currents are moving, it will be moving in the upward position, and because of that what will be happening? The water droplets will be moving to the downward, as we know, because water droplets are heavy. So because of due to the gravity, they will be attracted towards the ground portion, and thus they will be going down. Now these vigorous movement will be caused due to the suppression of the charges, and by a process not yet completely understood, the positive charges are all collected near the upper edge. As you can see in the picture also, it is given that the upper edge of the cloud will be possessing the positive charge, and at the bottom of the same cloud, or you can say that the other clouds are present near it. So what will be happening over there at the bottom? They will be having the negative charges, and on the surface also of the earth, that is the crust of the earth, we can find the positive charges all over spread over there. So what will be the condition over here? Now as we know that there are three layers of the charges that we can say. The upper layer of the cloud will be having the positive charges, the middle portion of the clouds, means the end or the edges of the clouds will be possessing the negative charge, and at the surface of the earth we have again the positive charge. Now because of this, there will be the transfer of the charges from one body to the other body, as we know, and we have the negative and positive charges over there, means they are the opposite one, and as we know that the unlike charges will always be attracting each other. So because of this reason, what will be the result now? Now we can say that the negative and the positive charges meet, producing the streaks of the bright light, which will be termed as the lightning, and because of this we will see the light coming out of the clouds up to the earth's surface. Now in this process we will call it as an electrical discharge. Now what is this electric discharge? So we see the lightning, means the charges are being flown from the negative to the positive portion, or maybe from the cloud that is on the top will be passing the positive charge to the negative one of the end of the other cloud. So these are the reasons for the lightning to be occur on the cloud or the sky, but still not clearly understood by the scientists. Still they are in a dilemma and they are just finding the reasons, correct reasons why these lightnings are happening. Now we can say that the electrical discharge can occur between two or more clouds also. So or between the clouds and the earth also, as we have just explained to you. Today we need to get frightening by the lightning like the our ancestors did, because we now know that it is clear to us that these are the nothing else but the transfer of the charges from one place to the other only. So we can say that it is not the curse or it is not the wrath of the God that is coming to us. Okay. Now however, lightning strikes could destroy the life and the properties also. We have seen in so many of the news also that during the monsoon season, whenever the lightnings are occurring, if it is too heavy, then there will be the loss of the property property also, and loss of the human beings also, and lives also. So why does it happen, and what are the things by which we can make ourselves safety from these things? So we have the next topic, that is known as the lightning safety. So what are the safety that we can do by our side? So as the points are mentioned over here, the 2 points which we need to take care about. The first one that says that hearing thunder is an alert to rush to a safer place. So whenever we hear the thunderstorms are over there in the ground, we can be alert that we should be going away from the metal things or from the trees or such like substances, so that we will be safe in our life. So whenever the thunders will be heard, we need to move away to a safe place. First point. The second point, after hearing the last thunder, make it clear it is last thunder, wait for some time before coming out of the safe place, because we know that the sound and light will be traveling at the different speed. So we need to wait for a while and then we have to move after hearing the last thunder. So these are the lightning safety that we can take care about. Now finding a safe place. What is a safe place that is mentioned over here? So let's find out. The house or the building is a safe place for lightning. Traveling in a car or a bus, if we are there in the car, or we need to be safe inside the vehicles only. We need to close the windows and the doors, and we should be placed ourselves inside the vehicles only. We should not be coming out of it. Now do's and don'ts during the thunderstorms. So what are the things that we need to do at that time and we don't have to do at that time? So let's have a look at it. When we are outside the room or when we are outside some of the buildings, and that time if the thunderstorms will occur, what are the conditions, what are the things that we need to do at that time? So if we are in the open vehicles like the motorbikes or the tractors or the construction machines, so what we can do over there, we just move to the other places. So these open things are not good, because we know that we ourselves are good conductors. We can also just take these charges to our bodies also. Okay, so we need to go to the other places. Open fields, tall trees and shelters in the parks, elevated places do not protect us from the lightning strokes, because they are also made with the metals and they will be also conducting the same charges as we do. Next, carrying an umbrella with us is again not safe for us. Why? Because umbrella, the tip is made with the metal, and the tip which is going along with it will be ended with the handle which we are holding. Now if the lightning will be striking to the tip of the umbrella, it will be just struck to our hand and our body will be catching in this charges. So we should not be carrying any of the umbrella. So forest, when we are in the forest, or take the shelter under the shortest tree. Why? Because we know that the tall things will be catching the lightning faster than the shorter one. So when we are in the forest area or in the ground or in the garden, we need to take our shelter under the shorter tree. Then we can say that if no shelter is available around us, then what we have to do? We have to stay far away from the trees, stay far away from the buildings or the poles. And if we are away from them, and do not lie down on the ground as we used to do that, let us lie down on the ground, we will be safer. No. When we will be lying down on the ground, it will be making more of the surface area open to the charges to come and take and fall on us. So for that we need to make our surface area in such a small amount that the charges will not be attracted by our body. So for that we need to have the position. As you can see over here, the position is given. What is this position? We have to squat low on the ground and place our hands on the knees with our head in between the hands. So this position is the best position when we are in an open place. So we need to just shorten down our surface area so that we will not be attracting the charges coming from the sky. Now this position will make you the smallest target to be struck. And now if we are inside the house, at that time if the thunder will happen, what are the precautions that we need to take care about? The first one, the telephone cords. We should not be just taking or receiving any of the telephone calls which are from the telephone cords which will be possessing the wire. If mobiles are there, it is okay, but then also they are not so safe. But at that time we can have the mobiles to be work out. But the wires and the metal pipes should not be touched. because they are also good conductor. Now lightning is an electrical discharge, we know very well. So what we have to do is, we cannot even take the bath at that time. So if the thunder is going on and we have just reached at the home by just making ourselves wet, we should not go directly to the bath, because water is also a good conductor of the electricity. So it can also conduct the same charge to our body from the sky. Then the electrical appliances like the computers, TVs, etc. should be unplugged, because we never knew when the good conductors means the copper will be coming and will be having the charges. Maybe somewhere the wires would have been just being broken, or somewhere some conditions would been happen. Now lightning conductors, the next thing that we have is the lightning conductors. We know that there are good conductors and the poor conductors for the conductivity. Now in this, what are these things? Lightning conductor is a device used to protect the building from the effect of the lightning. A metal rod, we know that in the picture also being shown to you people, that how this metallic rod is applied to the tall buildings. So why it applies and why it is safer for the building? A metallic rod taller than the building is installed in the walls of the building during the construction. So what will happen? One end is of the rod is kept in the air, and the other end is buried deep into the ground, so that the rod will be having the charges when they are taking or attracting the charges from the sky or the clouds. It will be directly going towards the ground, and as we know that the ground will not be acting as a good conductor, so that the charges will be dispersed over there, and the charges will not be having now any more activities over there. So the metal columns used during the construction, electrical wires and water pipes and the buildings also protect us to some extent now, but do not touch them during the thunderstorms, because all these will be conducting as a good conductors over there. Now the next topic we will be having is the earthquake.